RMJ movie reviews back again, and now this is a on the fly movie review of Ghost in the Shell, starring what's her name, Scarlett Johansson. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell. Um, I am very familiar with the cartoon. I used to actually I've never actually seen the original cartoon that the movie is based on, but back in the day, like when the whole kind of during the '90s, when the kind of the whole Japanimation thing was really kicking in, and cartoons like the Professional Goggle 13 or whatever that one is. I've seen that one before. I like that. And all those other ones, Vampire Hunter and all that kind of stuff was coming on video. They had Ghost in the Shell at the video store. I mean, old school VHS tape. And I did see it in the video store. I just actually never rented it, and I never looked at it. I believe it aired on the Independent Film Channel a couple times, but I never actually rented it. But I'm very familiar with it. And I did realize at the time that a lot of this stuff drew from all that stuff. Matrix drew from it, and Johnny Mnemonic and blah 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 and all those kind of movies. Um, and you know, I'm kind of here nor there about it. That genre is not my favorite of genre. Not that I dismiss it or dislike it. It's just for me, it's just kind of there. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's that genre. That genre is just kind of there for me. Doesn't really mean anything. Um, but I thought the film was okay. I thought the film was all right. I thought visually it was it was absolutely stunning. Just visually, it was nuts. It was just really nuts. There's a lot of really cool stuff in it. I mean, just to look at it is absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. Um, Scarlett Johansson, she's beautiful. She's a good screen presence. All the actors did a good job. It was nice to see Michael Wincott pop up in there. Top dollar himself. He pops up in there. It's a little brief, really more like a cameo. But of course, Michael Wincott, a little bit of Michael Wincott goes a long way with his acting. Um, but I really enjoyed it. I guess the only drawback I could find to the movie is just the simple fact that, as far as like the action and all that was concerned, like I said, I didn't have high expectations for this, so I was kind of like rolling with whatever they gave me. So I was satisfied with what they gave me. But I will agree with other people that, as far as like the story and all that is concerned, like at this point, we've had Matrix, we have Johnny Mnemonic, I mean, heck, we had Blade Runner. Matter of fact, the exact way this movie looks, they pretty much already did in Blade Runner, and they didn't have half the amount of money and visual effects that they do now that they didn't have back then. So, I mean, pretty much, I could almost say that this movie is Blade Runner. I could almost say that, but it's. I really say that's kind of really the only thing that takes away from it. But I think the flip side to it is just the fact that I will say that thus far, with the kind of the Matrix, Blade Runner, Johnny Mnemonic kind of stuff, I will say that as far as like the imagery and the creatures and stuff, this is about as bizarre as I think I've ever seen it so far. I mean, I think this is a PG-13 movie. I think if it would have been rated R, they could have definitely pushed. I think they could have pushed the envelope way further. If it would have been an R. But I understand. They're trying to make as much money as they can, but yeah, it kind of does have a feel like seen it all before kind of thing. But that doesn't make it bad. It just means that like other YouTubers have said, we've already seen it, so this is kind of late to the party type of deal. But I really just enjoyed just looking at it. And as far as the story is concerned, I mean, it's typical stuff like RoboCop, The Vindicator, Frankenstein type of story, like made by man, am I human, what's a real emotion, all that kind of thing we've seen 100 times before. Okay, I'm fine with that. But I think really more for me, it was just fun to just look at this movie because it's really got some breathtaking stuff. I think the scenes that I really like or like when they're going over the cityscape and you see like these weird kind of holographic images of like people doing stuff. It's really crazy. And there's a really cool scene of Scarlett Johansson like swan diving off of a building backwards like that. I really love that. Matter of fact, it was before the movie goes to the closing credits, and she goes like this and it fades to black as she's falling backwards. That's pretty cool. Um, and another one that I really like. Now, this is just a small moment that doesn't mean anything, but it's a scene where Scarlett Johansson is swimming underwater and she's just kind of floating, and there's all these jellyfish that are going around her, and it's really kind of creepy looking and murky, and I really really like that. And the one guy who was in the Funny Games remake, it was in that horrible Sandra Bullock movie, Murder by Numbers. I don't like that movie. I only saw it once, but he plays one of the killers in that movie, and he pops up for like kind of a role in here. You know that guy always plays freaky people, but you know he did what he does, and he was good at it. His character kind of starts out creepy, has kind of a turn, an arc in it, but he was good. Yeah, it was. I for the most part pretty much enjoyed it. I will say towards the ending, I was maybe slightly underwhelmed by the finale, but you know, look, I thought it was a decent time at the movies. I'd recommend it. Probably like go see it at, like on a matinee or something like that. You might want to check it out in 3D just because of how stunning it looks, because it just looks nuts. But mild recommendation for Ghost in the Shell. Don't have your expectations too high, but decent time waster. So thumbs up the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, leave comments down below about Ghost in the Shell, the original cartoon, other movies that I've referenced in this review, and do not forget to ding a ling 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 ring that bell on the bottom so you can be notified when I upload new videos to my channel. RMJ Movie Reviews, and I will see you all soon.